You watched the UNLV film yet, or
I did.
what stood out to you, mainly on the defensive end of the floor, that you felt like led to them getting on as well as they did?
I feel like we gave him confidence early. Especially like those kind of games, you gotta take him. Like you gotta attack. You gotta be the attacker first. Of course, it wasn't really a road game for them. Like it wasn't really a neutral site for them.
Sure.
It was more a road game for us. So yeah, they got confidence early, and once they took like that 6-7 points lead, we couldn't came back. They made shots. They made tough shots when they needed them. So credit to them.
Do you think this team can, or has the ability to win games with defense when shots are falling?
Yeah, I think what we're lacking right now is consistency in the defensive end. Once we reach that consistent part of the game, I think we're gonna be fine.
No, we kind of talked earlier in the week about that consistency on defense. How do you get yourself to a place where you can do that in every possession?
Start some practice. You can't really not do it in practice and expect it to do it in a game. So that's what we'll be working on this week, and hopefully keep working on the future.
Which ways do you think that you're going to be challenged on that end of the floor tomorrow night when the team that honestly can probably shoot it as well as you? There's not many teams that can.
Yeah, it's what the game is going to be decided on, the defense part. They play fast. They play just like us. It's a good thing for us. It's a good thing for them because we play against that offense every day. So as I said before, the defense, whoever is going to be able to stop the other team to make shots, it's probably going to be the one that's going to be successful tomorrow.
How much of a factor was it that UNLV really slowed it down? Yeah, how much did that affect you, not only defense but offense as well?
Yeah, it was kind of frustrating, playing defense for 25, 27 seconds, and then you go down there and you miss a shot, and again you gotta play defense 25, 27 seconds. But that's how the game is played, Whoever gets to impose the rhythm of the game is probably the most successful during that game. But I feel like we still could have done a better job defensively. But as I said before, credits to them.
Shot clock probably won't run in 25 seconds.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fast pace, which we like it and they like it, so should be fun.
I think you said it was the case for Colorado State where the missed shots affected their end of the floor. Did you think that happened against UNLV as well?
I think it happened, but not as much, I'll say. Against Colorado State, we scored 46 points. We still scored 65, I think, the other night. So it got a little better, but as I said before, we got to be more consistent in the defensive end.
Is there something you can do on the perimeter to help protect Kalk on the inside? You've got to work on him with that?
We trust. Kalkbrenner is for a reason 2 times Defensive Player of the Year. But yeah, probably during the game, approach him and ask him what we could do, especially the guards, in order to help him a little bit more. I think that's something that we lacked this past game, but it's not gonna happen again, I think.
When you're facing another team that wants to run at the same rate as you do, how do you impose your tempo? If that's just kind of the way.
Yeah, impose the tempo and try to stop their tempo. I think 80% of their possessions have 2 passes or less. So hopefully make them pass the ball a little more. Try to make them work their offense a little more. They're a big layup, a big 3-point team. So kind of force them into the mid ranges.
They checked up 94 feet against Purdue pretty consistently. They weren't trying to cause turnovers, but they were trying to make them comfortable. How do you counter that part of it, or do you feel like that could be an issue?
Yeah, we have it in mind. Especially after makes is when they used to press like that. Just be aware. We've been working on it the past 2 days, so we're gonna be fine. Keep your head up, be aware, and pass it to the open man.
A lot of people believe your identity is obviously the shooting game and just offense, but when that's not working, is there more to the identity than just being able to check it out from anywhere on the floor?
Yeah, that's what we've been trying to figure out for the last 10 games. When the shot doesn't go in, who are we? So as I mentioned, like we try to be consistent in that defensive end, and the more consistent we are, I think the better the results is going to be.
How important is it to reestablish momentum heading into Big East play after this game?
Yeah, I mean huge. I mean even before UNLV, we knew like the next 3-4 games were going to be a challenging stretch. I'll say. I mean. We have after Saturday we got Villanova at home, and then we got a little break and we go at Marquette. So it's a tough start of the conference, but I mean we're up to the challenge, and we're excited about it.
There's been quite a few games where you just haven't been able to get up many shots. How do you get more involved in the offense?
Yeah, I think it's our offense is very opportunistic in that way that sometimes they're going to deny guys, and at the same time I think the great basketball minds see that, even if I'm not getting up the shots, there's still big impact on the offense that I have with them having to chase me over screens or different things like that. And so, playing it as it goes on and looking for opportunities to be assertive for sure. Aggressive in transition is an area where I think, I could be a little bit better. But ultimately, at the end of the day, making sure that we're moving the ball and the ball is going to find the right guy.
On a night where shots aren't falling, how tough is it to try and stay engaged mentally?
Honestly, I don't think it's that tough. There's a game going on. I think shots falling or shots going in is something that you can't always control. And so, in order to be a great player, you got to be locked in the whole game no matter what's going on. And so, for me personally, it's just a big thing that whether it's the assignment on defense or making sure that, I'm making sure the offense is running the right way, it doesn't change much.
What do you feel like needs to be, sharper on the defensive end of the floor, just so that maybe when you're going through stretches where shots aren't falling, you're stringing enough stops together to stay in the game?
Yeah, I think that our communication can be, can always be better. I think whether it's communicating who's in the help gaps or where the help's coming from, or where the screens are at, or I think it just gives each defender a sense of confidence when that communication is really high, and so focusing on that and then. Making sure that we guard the ball, guard the dribble, don't let guys get into the paint, get comfortable, and then, I think that'd be the last thing is don't let them be so comfortable. Making it a little bit harder to set up their cuts or to set up their offense can be a thing where I think, can kind of disrupt their rhythm, which would be good for us.
The same token with Bama, they like to disrupt offensive timing. How do you counter the type of pressure you're going to face on that end of the floor?
Yeah, I think that. Especially with how they like to pick up full court, whether it's, kind of make or miss, I think some high ball screens is going to be really effective for us, and just the opportunity that we have to, have shooters around the floor is going to be something that they're going to have to, be aware of. And so although they may like to get into those gaps, I think that spacing will allow for some dribble penetration and, hopefully a lot of touches for, our big guy Kalk.
How do you think that connection with Kalk is going? Haven't had as much time with him as maybe the other players, but just being able to find him.
Yeah, I think it's been great. Kalk and I roomed together on the road, and so we got a really good friendship. And at times we've been looking at a lot of different things in the pick and roll of how we both can be assertive and both can benefit from our pick and roll game. And I think in some ways it's going to be different than it is with the other guys. But at the same time, there's a lot of things that I think that we can do together that'll be really, really special. And it's only 10 games into the season, so we got a lot of year left to keep exploring new things and finding things that'll work really well for us.
Two more. You mentioned it's 10 games in. What's been the most difficult thing for you in the transition here at Creighton as far as running the offense?
I think it's every game's a little different. Just trying to figure out where I can fit best to make sure that we win. I think that's ultimately my goal at the end of every game is to make sure that I facilitated in a way that helped winning. And so, at times it's difficult because your role is going to be different than it was night by night and even from last year. And so just making sure that, I keep that confidence in, whether it's a 17-point night or a 2-point night that, I made plays that affected winning and just making sure that I continue to do that at a high level.
You're in your first Big East game coming up. How do you feel about entering the new conference now, kind of more officially?
Yeah, it's fun. It's definitely been something that, we've looked forward to. And, this non-conference slate has been awesome for us. I feel like there's been a lot of good variations of teams that we've played that have played different styles that we've had to, make sure that we could understand how to play differently. And so I think heading into the Big East, we're going to see just more of that at a at a really high level. So every single night there's going to be a big game, and can't wait for it, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. You seem pretty disappointed with the defensive side of the floor the other night. In the post-game comments, what did you see on film that either enhanced or changed that record a little bit?
Yeah, we were probably okay the first half, and actually I maybe packed it in on our plan a little bit too soon. We went to some double teams in the post, gave up back-to-back threes, and then we gave up a three-point play in the block. Then we went to zone, gave up a gave up a three. So it was 12 quick points after I kind of abandoned what we were doing. So some of that was probably on me on maybe getting out of it a little too soon.
By the same token, is there anything that you feel like this team still needs to be better at more consistently in terms of the things you guys are trying to do within your schemes?
Yeah, I mean, they hit some threes maybe that we were somewhat okay with a few of the guys. Thomas really hurt us in the mid-range early, and that kind of set the tone for the game. They were 7 of 11 kind of in that mid-range floater range, which is that's a pretty high mark for anybody. So that, and then we get, normally we don't get beat up on the block like we did, and that part of it really changed the game. But you're always growing defensively. We're in a better spot, I think, probably from an analytics standpoint at this point now than we were at this time last year. And hopefully, like last year, this team will get better as we keep moving forward.
Going to the other end, I think every metric would tell you that you guys got good looks against UNLV. Did you feel that?
My metrics certainly did, yeah. So, it's and we got it in the paint some. We actually had a pretty efficient night at the rim. So. We just needed to make a couple shots to go with it, and we got to the free throw line a little bit more than we usually do. So there are a lot of things that were good about it, but don't discount the fact UNLV played really, really well. I don't care what they've done in the past. That particular night, they were really good.
You're also going to face a really good team on Saturday. I don't think that's any secret. What do you see from Alabama so far, especially the way they can come at you offensively?
Their pace is incredible. It is the best in the country. They play a lot like we do, and that they want a lot of shots at the rim. They want a lot of threes. And the games they've lost against some good teams, they haven't shot it particularly well. They did the first half against Purdue. They didn't the second half. But they're really, really good. We'll have to play our best game of the year. They've grown defensively as the season has gone on. But it's a really, really talented group of guards, and then you have the athletic enough at the rim that they put some pressure there, getting behind ball screens, getting out in transition, and they're just disruptive enough defensively to kind of not let you get into your flow.
How about Grant Nelson, his game, and the challenges that he presents?
Yeah, they use him in a lot of different ways. He starts at the 4, but they'll post him some. He'll shoot some threes, and then they'll kind of gear down and play a smaller lineup with him at the 5. He'll bring it in transition, which is a little atypical for someone 6'10", 6'11". We saw him as a freshman when he was playing at North Dakota State, so we played against him before. He's a talented guy. He's going to play in the NBA. They got a couple guys that are going to play in the NBA, so and he's one of them.
Have you learned anything from Baylor on that front? Because him and Grant played quite a bit when they were both at the Dakotas.
Yeah, they played against each other. I mean, we've seen him plenty, and watched him at the combine last year. We actually, recruited him a little. Had Kalkbrenner decided to stay in the draft. We were going to try to be a player in that, but obviously that didn't happen. So we're very familiar with him.
You look at Mark Sears, Aaron Strada, draw rights off the bench like that. What needs to, I guess, are you looking for in the defensive end, especially when it comes to perimeter, point of attack?
Well, you've got to get to shooters. We've got to navigate these ball screens, because he can't stay there forever because of the pressure they can put on the rim. So, our ability to kind of navigate that, we'll probably have to change it up a little and give him some different looks. But you have to get to him at the three-point line. They're really they can hit you in a hurry from there, and you got to get back in transition and get turned around. And the issue is while you prepare, like I'm going to guard this guy, you're going to guard that guy, you get cross-matched a lot because of their pace, very similar to how we play. Teams will you don't necessarily have the matchup you want in transition. So our guys' ability to understand, okay, who am I guarding, what are they good at, and how's it change this possession because I'm on somebody that I haven't really prepared to guard. So that's going to be really critical because of the pace of the game.
Coach, a lot of people see the identity of this team as great shooting. However, when there's nights when that's not happening, what do you think the identity is?
Well, I mean, shooting's going to have to be one of them, but defensively, we're still a top, 25 defense in the country. So, we've done pretty well there over the course of the last couple of years. And as I said, that part of the game has to continue to grow. And you don't overreact when you have a great night defensively, and maybe some teams, when you evaluate the game, they miss some shots and you didn't do as good a job. But you also can't overreact when a team makes some shots. As long as we're getting the shots that we want and our shots are better than them, at the end of the day, when you play 30-some games, the numbers are going to work in your favor. So it's important. I know fans want to overreact, but Coach Mack doesn't overreact to that.
Do one more. Mason's had a couple really efficient nights back to back. What do you think of his bounce back, and then how does that impact the way the other teams have been defending?
Yeah, he's playing great, and it's unfortunate he got sick and missed that time because his trajectory was really good at that time, and then that really knocked him back. But his movement off the ball is so good. He gets some shots because he understands where to move and he moves quickly. And he's playing with a lot of confidence right now. So he and Isaac both, and unfortunately UNLV with the kid being eligible, they've really played small, and they hadn't done that all year, and we found out the morning of the game. So that didn't allow us to get Isaac on the floor as much because of defensive matchups. But Mason's playing really, really well, and as is Isaac. We couldn't be more pleased with both of them.